Good morning, folks. It's 9:31 a.m. on the first day, 8th month, 2023. August begins. What I'm looking at here is this big typhoon. It is going to do a slide past Okinawa. It's going to come in here. China's hit a beam line. It can't get past it. And so she's going to like wobble a bit right around here, really do some devastations on Taipei. We're really going to have a hard time with the winds and the rains that are coming over here. You see this over here? Right, where are we? It's Okinawa. In case you didn't know where the Battle of Okinawa occurred, it was right here. And well, looks like weather warfare has come to Okinawa. Not for the first time. And this is going to be a weird track this storm is scheduled to take. As it goes in, it should just steam straight into China. As you can see, the front of the storm is being sheared off because of a flow of EMF is destroying it. It's going to have to bounce back off it to reform its circulation. Right, and it will. And so the wobble about here is bad news for Taipei. Every time they have a high tide, they're going to have a problem. And it's going to get worse as days go on because the rivers are swollen, the streams and the dreams are very well connected to each other. And as she skirts over into the towards the China Sea up here, this event here is not over. This is a weird storm track that is scheduled to happen, and it can only be done with weather manipulation. There is just no other way to get it to go in like that. All its momentum should have took it straight inland there. So this is going to be a hell of a geoengineering move and an absolutely terrible week for these people here. So I want our thoughts and prayers to go out to the people on these islands out here. Because when this thing comes over the top of this island here with a full eye on the top of a mommy over there, this is going to be like the finger of God. And these people on this island here in the whip around at Tukanoshima is going to have problems. And so I'm very concerned for the people that live in this area of the world. They can expect some accumulations of deadliness proportion. Everywhere that eye goes, right, you see what it's carrying with it. See the weird path it's taking? She came in here and stalled. China shoved on the brakes kind of with a bit of beam off the coast there. They didn't leave their southern borders alone. Believe me, they going to have some water down here. So I'm very worried again about Taiwan. Their accumulation totals on it tens are looking really bad. You know, for 3 days, this thing keeps out. 5 days, it's still pumping it in there. So, geoengineering sucks. Telling that your neighbor should have your storm is even worse. It's the worst kind of behavior you could have from one country toward another by turning a storm off from them to someone else. In this island here, I could expect a half a meter of rain. You poor folks, I'm gutted for you. So I have a few things to go over today. I actually had to make notes because there was so much to go over today. And I had to go look at which one do I think is true, right? Because you got two different weather models going on, and I'm going to just go with what I say. Now remember now, there's been a beam, right? It's come down, right? It's come down from here, crushing up. So we have to keep this in our heads right now of what has occurred there with that big beam I was showing you. So I'm keeping that in my mind because I know it's going to divert flow this way. I know it's going to divert flow from that way. I know what they did, and there was a lot of them. And so I have to keep all this in my head. It's kind of what's caused this gap here, and it's going to make a storm's going to come down through here over the coming week that you're going to need to know about New Zealand. We're going to watch this situation extremely closely. And so what I'm going to do now is show you that winter time is coming to New Zealand. It's going to get cold, windy, and you're going to see some snows across the North Island over the next 36 hours. Here she comes, the camper on your street. Ice-nucleated bacteria can make snow at 53 degrees. It really can. Yeah, that's a fact. Fahrenheit. Let me throw that in there. A big difference. Oh, yeah. What if you're boiling and what if you're not? Hey, look at the snows, look at the snows. Jingle bells, Batman smells just like cam bombed eggs. Or is it scratch that, reverse it? Cam bomb smell. That's the low that never ends over what tangy. The tangy flavor. Well, we'll get to you guys. I'm not even concerned about that. Right now I just want to show him something. I want to show him something. Right. Which was coming down. Now he's at the weirdest high pressure you've ever seen. Come on. Geoengineering 6. And so I've even got days I'm expecting beams. So right here's what I get written down. There's going to be a sudden shift is about to happen. And I don't know exactly what beam they're going to use to do this yet. See, I'm just cruising you along here. I have a concern about these dancers right here. I have a concern. A big concern. What's here aiming at Auckland on the 11th? I'm near to call it. I'm absolutely is near to call this. Watch out for a cyclone coming in weird direction. This meat and that flow that comes down from that beam's going to meet that wall of perturbance that's still in place. Oh my. This could be a very bad situation. When that cold meets that tropical flow, whichever day that occurs, you guys are fucked in Auckland. I'm watching this very, 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 very closely. So let me show you this anomaly. I'm going to go down my weather list here. I actually made a few notes, which is I don't usually do. Okay, so we're going to go down here. I'm going to go under Africa here. I want you to see something. Right, we got a sudden change down here in Antarctica. You're watching this. Right, if you're watching these pressures go along. Right, the one to keep your eye on is this 945 down here. Watch what happens. Right, that pressure should own the show. All the airs around it flow toward it. It's starting to equalize now. This other one comes up. Look, we get three lows forming at once where there's no land masses to cause a drag in the system to make a natural flow. Unless a huge wave comes here, if you're 100 feet high or something. Right? There's a lot of manipulation occurring around this day. And that low got absolved. And it sent a huge puff up of air straight up here into the South Atlantic. This is bad. That's about a week and a half away from really causing fuckery for us. I'm watching this very, very closely. This is the setup. And it happened early. Right? This is the area where that base is that I pretty much think is involved in the big beam. And so let's keep that device in our heads. Right? Because we know that certain things can occur. Let me see if I'm running. Crikey. Now, this ain't crikey. This is just going over pressures. This is what I'm going over now, is these pressures here. These pressures are going to run the show. And when something changes too suddenly, it won't make sense. Because usually if you had a test on weather or something for yourself, that would give you this. What's going to happen next? Right? And so you'd expect certain things to happen. And with this map here, this will flow toward this. This is circulating like this while that's going that. So this low will turn over to tap it out when they get absolved into it. It'll dance. This one will do a dance. While this is interacting a certain way at a higher pressure over a cold polar region, which should be cold. So we can kind of spot where the atmospheric heaters are sometimes by looking at where do these sudden highs form down here. Watch for the temperature increases. Watch for decreases. We look for these things. Look for the anomalies and you'll see the plan. They'll tell you. Because they're showing you a graphic that half the news readers can't understand what would it do next if it occurred. See the cold pocket come in? So I've got to set on temperatures right now, as well as pressure. It's very important. I'm watching the dance between the hot and the cold here is making a setup for the coastline near Vez, just from watching your daytime temperatures. Right, I'll go to this part of the map all along. How hot was it that day? How hot was it that day? Was it cold at night? I got to know your time zones. I had to get around stuff in my head. And I will. So then I could determine where the isolated packets of storms will be for Australia. Somebody asked me some of what of my determinants are. And I understand pressure and flow in a southern diver. I'll kind of read you my notes. On the second, there's a sudden shift near Antarctica, and I showed you that. On the third, you got a steamer in the bight. So that'll be the steamer in the bight. And it's going to be a southern diver. It's going to ride along this line right here of temperature. Right in here. It'll spit its moisture off when it gets to about here. It'll sling that into where this high is. And this high is carrying things, this hemisphere, this direction. Right? So it puts a drag on it. And it'll actually kick the low. If that low is going like this, and that hits the side of it while it's already spinning like that, it'll actually spin it a little faster. And it's running into some cool air in the trough here with some warm air coming down in this direction. And this is a recipe for weekend storms. It was a big hot that came down, isn't it? It didn't last long, just long enough to make the storms. A big, big pocket of cold from Antarctica comes up here on a Saturday night. It's a big blast. It came in with that high that came up. Yeah, a high pressure should be a bluebird day. Shouldn't be freezing cold. Not like this. Now when you get that direction on the wind, taking the warm down that way while the cold comes up that way, mixes it right here, and it sets up storms for a crush here, has to. And so let's let this run. Here's the run-ins. You're going to turn off some of the pressures now so you don't feel the pressure. I'll turn off the wind animation so you guys don't feel all, oh my gosh, I've already done you New Zealand, so you can go a little bit toward the right over here. I want to get a bit of the tropics in here. There's going to be some action up there. Yep. That's just how it's going to go. And I'm going to take a moment while that's running to sip at my nice warm drink. Let's get rid of this show thing. Got to get him down. It's moving way too slow because I didn't hit the intro button. Okay, well, gee, you got what you just paid for here. And nothing happened. Right, there's your problem, Percy. It's going to come over very quickly. You spread the moistures. It's not a super flood or anything like that, but you're going to get wet. Big line of storms comes across, and the setup for the temperatures is kind of evident, the corridor that things are taking. I showed you where the cold pockets are. As this storm heads south towards Antarctica, with a warmer center to melt some ice, it spit its moisture off. So you can expect a beam. It'll block off the strait right about that point there. So this is free to sling on its own, and that's now an independent low. It should steam a little bit more towards New Zealand while its momentum is headed south. And so a pivot move will occur like a wiper again, coming towards that side. While the whole time the river of moisture that's been diverted by that big beam, right, there's nowhere else it could go, begins its journey south. It's butting into that wall. It's getting into a corridor that brings it down this side. If it comes down this side, it goes there. If it comes down this side, it comes here. And looking like you got a bit of a curveball going on. And so we're going to be watching this very, very closely in the coming week. Okay? It ain't going to go much farther than that. I think that's far enough. I just showed you, hey, look, it's a weekend, and they fucked our coast road again. Right? Happy Sunday for the Bruce. Happy Sunday for in your caboose. And so there's going to be a lot of chem deployed on Friday to make these storms succeed. Yeah. And your totals you can expect to crush in the next 10 days is not pleasant. Because you think they're staying offshore. You think the wind ain't going to blow that 20 miles inland from an upper level of the atmosphere. Excuse me, temperature. Oh, gosh. What a fright head. They're telling you you're going to get a centimeter. I say bullshit. I say you're going to get about 2.5. Maybe that's going to be significant at some points and some very heavy flows and much more toward the corner as they work in these storms over, as they hit them beams to kill the dreams, it slingshot that moisture across down here through the trough. It causes problems when it hems up against the mountains there. Condensates get bigger and bigger droplets, and away they fall. You vibrate them condensates together or smash them together, and you get more. And that's for out to sea. So watch your boats, watch your walker. 10-day totals for New Zealand, not the most pleasant. If they could show you the 15-day totals, you'll go, boom. Hey, so we're going to be watching this very, very closely. Access is in pretty much agreement. Say you're going to have a few hot pockets in between here and here, but not today. And if it ain't today, I say, hey, 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 have a good day. Bandingo. And I want to show you some of the cam that's going on now. That's all the forecast stations I freaking feel like doing. Okay, so here is a radar of New Zealand, it looks like here. Yeah, it's definitely New Zealand. The blast that went out there. Did you see the line that went out? Come on, you was just loaded them all. Whoa, whoa, fast weather. Oh, looks like you're getting a little bit of action over there. Ticky-kicky-cackas. Now, the beam came out pretty evidently. You had one that come from Christchurch out here. You had another one that came out from over here, but it wasn't much. Just caused a bit of a drag that when the storm was coming up here, it slows it down. Collides to condensate. It's a condensation collider. But it's a nice line of storms there moving across for you guys. And when I put on the, I'm going to turn that off now because it was a drag. There wasn't much to see. This is much more of what I expect to see. Look at, you got 3 cross flows here. Very distinct pockets of moisture, different temperatures, different layers of the atmosphere, so one can move under the other or over the top as predicted. And look at the square here getting ready to smack Auckland Island and all that. That's not good. The waveforms coming across your island are really easy to see. Very, very easy to see. It's a little too fast. Cloud going sideways, cloud going that sideways, a square turn here, flows up the coast, slows down the storm, doesn't even make it across the fjord lands, which it should, right? But it doesn't because electromagnetic frequency beam came right on down your asses the other day. Remember that big ass blast? Well, it's affecting your weather still. And I know that. Look at the frequency here outside Hawke's Bay. See the interference pattern? That cloud that I'm pointing at here, it's not blowing away, is it? Over a 4-hour period of time. No. Well, this one is going across the top, but its chemicals get looks like stirred right on into that EMF mix, showing that that's what it was there to do. The bombing to existence of clouds through electromagnetic frequencies needs to be outlawed. It does. Look at these plumes over here. You think that looks natural? Maybe when it was going fast. Not now. Look at it. Look at the plumes. How many directions are the wind in this thing? This would be a huge water spout. It would be miles across. You should be able to see it. It with binoculars from the coastline. It's almost like they wrote the word Earth or something there. Double horde popping up. Woo! Afro man over on this side. It's about as believable. You're having a big Snoop Dogg party. How many squares and directions here with the shit-stained skies? You guys got so many chem bombs going across the top of you. It's like a clutching hand of our oppressor strangling the life out of my Earth. That is not leaving a nice handprint on the heart of the planet, that's for sure. Long-sustained chem bomb deployments. Right over the top of you guys, right over Blenheim, where there's a very well-known spy station. You see the bomb they deployed over the top of it? Look, I'm telling you who's the guilt. Pointed right at it. North Island, big streamer of crap. Auckland, taxified. Absolutely taxified. You can go back 4 hours here. Zip. Look at this plume. Boom, 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 boom. 10 minutes later, more. Crazy winds. This is chem bombs. Gosh, this is hard to report every day. See the waveform come over the top? Did your ears pop? You see that, like that cloudy, where one part of the cloud hazes out. Right there. It's a waveform coming across your island. You can see a really big waveform here come across the far north. Look at this waveform here coming across. It's not a gravity wave. It's actually going the wrong direction. This is a big blast. It's come from all the way over to here, through here. It's even affected it all the way up to here. Look at how the clouds change. Oh, you got something that came through this gap up here near totally blocking off the island flows over, like near Fiji and that. I can tell when I got the beams on. None of that made it through the passage here. Just Pensar, whatever how you pronounce that. None of the chem made it through these islands. They've got the Venturi shit through there. Where are they allowing the flow to go? Not through there. All tropical flow is pinned towards Siam, making sure that their terrible weather continues, that all that moisture and that did not go where nature might have wanted it. Look, everything's moving this direction, but this one plume here, it's like it's controlled by a drone of some kind. It keeps moving faster than a ship at sea could go. Got to keep that in mind. How many directions of the winter flow in there? It's an impossible flow. I'd hate that for pilots to have to go through that. Imagine the turbulence. I have experienced some mild chop. Bzz, bzz, bzz. Yeah, we're going to be in a frying pan for a while. What a fucking shame. Look, the flow is shut through there too. Well, we got the Venturis open through here. That'll assist the flow into the Bay of Bengal for the up and around move. And you guys get to continue with Kembamination. You got a flow coming up this way, flow going down that way. Flow should be saying, kiss my grits is what I think about that. Yeah, kiss it right there in the grits. But man, let's come down to the nitty gritty when I'm watching my planet being poisoned and I'm watching a bunch of people fucking not talking about it because you can't, the scope of the evil, they can't get their head around, or because they joked about it in cartoons of weather machines for years, you think it's impossible. Well, whether you think it's impossible or not, some things are going on, and whether you believe it or not, this can kill you anyhow. What a fucking shame. Absolute fucking shame. Absolutely disgusted. Watching my chemtrail planet every day. Let's go have a quick look over here. Friar Island is doing his bit. Mount Ice is on. Richmond is on. Glitching over at Greenvale. Beam shoots out that direction from this station. Brisbane, as always, is active. It's got a heated corridor set over here. Sydney's frying. Of course, this is shut off from anything coming inland between that point and that point. This point is blocked. That point is blocked. So all the flow from around that area, the Exmouth point, is not allowed to come in. Let's shut that one down. Give my bandwidth up. So let's see what kind of waveforms we've got going on over Exmouth. We got a flow coming in from the south. You just see where the clouds stop while this moves north. It's more visible through here. You got a radar on over here. Right about there. Waveform coming up this direction here. Hammond moisture, and that came from Antarctica direction. Gotta read that fucking EMF, man. You won't know your flows. If you don't know your flow, you don't know where the cloud's gonna go. Or where they're gonna grow. There's a big field of chem going by to bite out here. Look at this big old dump. It's a dump. Taking a dump in the sky. And why is this going on? Because we allow it. We have not taken the measures to motivate private piles, so to speak. Sometimes it's time for the blanket party. Look at all the bombs in this field out here. Emanation point there. Everything is pointing right at it. Really. Chem bomb, chem bomb, chem bomb, chem bomb, making a heart shape. How fucking disgusting is that? How disrespectful to my planet, or is it the Masonic M apron? Do not fear the organizations that are being aimed. Do not fear the fear itself. Just keep caring. It's all that matters. Care about our air. If you don't care about our air, you stick your nose in a crack and sniff it. Of various kinds. Back 10 minutes. I'm going to turn some of the nitty-gritty city names so you can see the EMF waveform that goes through Australia. You have one coming that way. See it? Another one zipping up that and along from there. Okay, so where would your interference pattern be the worst? Where is your highest risk for an earthquake in this area? Right about here. That's coming in, that's coming in. There. No, there. Highest risk for quaking eyes right now, there where I'm pointing. If I don't see a three-pointer hit over here soon, I'm very, very worried for New Zealand. Right, there's a lot of pressure bound up, and that one over there was an up and down, not a side to side. The side to side's got to happen, or there's got to be a break here, another fracture to take the pressure off of here. So I'm very, very worried earthquake-wise for you guys. You must have a worldview. I'm going to turn that off now. Oh, I'm not going to my Facebook. Fuck Facebook. Facebook is so over it some days. Now I want to go have a worldview now. So let's see if it's working today. And have a quick glance across the world. I want to have a good look right into here. I'm going right for the cyclone. Is it round in the eye? No. It's a square. In a square. Square, square, squares, bomb, 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 bomb. Emanation point. Streamer, streamer, streamer. Bombs. It's just all that's making this storm is bombs. This is a chem bomb clone, cyclone, whatever the fuck you want to call that. I ain't calling it a Frankenstein, because that would be taking a piece of this storm, that storm, that storm, that. We're stitching it all together. Now pass on that. We got a Lando Kane over here being fueled by bombs. See it? See the bombs? Right there. Bomb, 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 bombed again. Bomb, 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 bombed again. Boomed up there. Look at that big square sweat right there. China's got the fryer on. There ain't no chance of that coming ashore. There's gonna be fireworks. Can fuck the fried sickness mix, they do it right for you. Boom, boom. So fuck the fried sickness mix, they got it in the air for you. Let's see if I've missed anything out of my notes today. Let's see. Excess, winter comes to the North Island today. Perth gets a line from the west. Yep, at midnight. There'll be that one, a tropical cyclone stalls at Okinawa. I've mentioned that one. It waves across the peninsula. I've shown that one. Want to read the Franklin ditty poem? Oh, God, that's bad. Oh, I came up with a little ditty for you. Maybe I'll do it if it feels like spontaneous. Oh, my, look at that. That looks like an evil creature with the bat wing and everything. Ooh, pilots. Look how long them chemtrail lines are. It's not just a little bit of space. It's something flew along this line here and deployed. Deployed. Like that angel of death that they do chaff deployment. You ever seen that one? Sure you have. I've shown it many times. Angel of death chaff deployment is... That's all I need to say. Ooh, why is it called the angel of death? Bless him. Look at this shit. The flare patterns from this. Look, 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 look. Look. You told me that these smoke trails here don't look like chem bombs. Don't you tell me that they can't come along, with a plane, or more than one. Or more than one, and do this very, very, very quickly. And those are chemicals. And they're leaving a trail in this sky. Now you see why they call it the angel of death. It's a very serious chaff deployment thing. Very, very serious. Amazing C-30 demonstration. It shows you different kinds of chem bomb deployment there. And we'll get back to you in a moment. I want to give you a link. Look at this. It's not that being spotted. I think it matters as much as just get the word out. If I'd rather things now, come on, I should be saying paste by now, for fuck's sake. God, I need a keyboard. Right, what are they doing? Right, they're giving a demonstration of how to do a chem bomb across an area, I guess. I haven't seen this film yet. Okay, it can bank, it can turn. It can come at you. It's got lights, it banks. Yep, it turns, it banks. It turns, it banks. Is it going to do something now? Yep, shoots off a couple chem bombs. Here go the chem bombs. There they are. They're going in the zipper line. You see that? Look, down in a line, evenly spaced, leaving a chemical trail of whatever that color yields on the charts. I don't have it memorized. Right? You can't tell me you can't chem bomb up an entire area. Let's see if I can find it. Very, very quickly. And we know there's a lot of military exercises going on right now. Look at that. Look at the trails of smoke it leaves behind. Right? There's many, many deployment methods for chem. Not everything's being done with a jet plane. Even in this image right here. That's a jet plane one. It's your typical chemtrail that's spread out. It didn't dissipate like a condensation contrail would naturally do. So what is in it, in the exhaust, that's allowing that to happen? I have never seen an on-off switch in a cockpit saying chemtrail on, chemtrail off. That's bullshit, disinformation, cuckoo stuff. And quit being an idiot and falling for doo-doo stuff. It's much more complicated than that. It's right. That's all done with computers. It's all the trims and fuel additives stuff. That's all controlled by something beyond the person in the cockpit. So don't be blaming the pilot. They're getting sick too. Like I said, I've never seen that. But I've seen cuckoo trolls laugh it up when you guys posted that. Look at this. That's chem bomb deployment. That's like what you seen that military thing do. Right? That stuff's not healthy. Not healthy at all. And that was over China. Right? Would you feel more like giving a fuck New Zealand if I show it over you? Look at a waveform here coming out. Bzzz, frying the center of the country. Contamination off the coast. Right away. See these here? These are chem bombs. It's in the wind and it's falling out on my Wanua. And it's not cool at all. The vag. It's just such a toxified world. We've had a blessed. Go back to yesterday. This is all of us, man. Every one of us in the school picture, right here. What is the first thing I notice here is a fire. Burning away. Burning away. And the smoke is blowing over a peaceful population. Right now they're over to Michigan. Chicago's down here. Milwaukee, where the Fonzie, Laverne, Shirley used to live. And I think it's time for them to just sit on it. Look at the sickness mix here over these poor folks. Let's get some names on here so you see where we are. International fallout. Look at the chem bomb here. CEMBOMB, plume disguised, this in my ears. CM bombs, can't you see? Fuck off what you see. Fuck bomb your sky, it looks like shit. Covered in sickness mix. Chem's real, like it's so good. Chem bomb is dick. Look at this here, Coffeeville, man. Look what they're doing to the coffee, man. They frothatizing the sky over frothy Coffeeville here. They got chem bomb, a chemtrail, a more traditional, but it didn't happen outside that area, just in the area where it was wanted. That is being controlled by some D-Wave computer that understands all the updraft, downdrafts, must have all the data to do all the calculations, and to make sure it only causes the disaster where the land is wanted to be bought, or the crop is needed to be ruined, or where the insurance is needed to be collected. In a corporate world, the military-industrial complex is not very complex to figure out.
They want your money so they can make money off it. They want you to buy their product, whether it's good for you or not. Over at Brownsville, they would give you anything to give you the Brownlow. So you have to sell your toilet paper. They play it subliminally in your seat so you shit yourself so they could come up with a new disease. Well, I'll tell you what, that fucking vaccine is going to get renamed as a whole lot of other side effects before the side effect we want, justice for the lying to us by that Fauci bastard and fucking Gates, who all they gave a shit was their wallet. You think that computer geek gives a shit about your life? He was probably teased his whole life. He's probably fucking happy to kill the planet off. And you almost think his father was in charge to Planned Parenthood. Well, wait a minute. He was. But yet you respect people like that, who disrespect my world, who disrespect whales by researching technology that causes infrasonic undulations. Yes, Raytheon. And if you ever work for them and haven't come up with a weapon or a way to cure being fried in front of their state houses there, Mr. Bozy, I suggest you do. I trust you like I trust a fart. Not at all. My God, look how toxified this is. Look at these controlled streamers of moisture. It shouldn't be down in that direction. Look at where the blast cleared it out. Even where that gap was in between the two colors has caused the condensate to form here, Vanuatu, on that angle. That has blocked the flow from there. All that has to come to the New Caledonia side. You guys are fucked. It's a block. What a shame. I could read these clouds like a fucking book. But yet, we're lied to about geoengineering. They try to tell you it's your fault that they are poisoning you. It's your fault. It's like they're grabbing your elbow and hitting you in the face, going, why are you hitting yourself? We're going to have to lock you up because you keep hitting yourself. And they're the ones doing it. But look at this fucking smoke over Detroit, Michigan. I bet they had the reddest sunrise sunsets. It looked like Armageddon Death Day itself had come. This world's gone mad. Don't you guys see the geometric shapes in the skies that are not round and circular? And you see all the straight lines? I understand once in a while nature will put a square out, but not this many all the time. This is geoengineering. Wouldn't want to fly through that EMF gap right there. I bet that was a bit choppy for those folks. You come over here to England, it wasn't like we even seen the sky. It wasn't like any vitamin D was going on in my body. It's a fucking shame. And when you do finally get some sunshine, they'll fry the hell out of you. You know, there's a little bit of sunshine. You'll go outside just to get in that gap, and so that the free radicals in your body could create cancers and stuff underneath all these microwaves. Well, thank God I've got an ioni in my pocket to bring the frequency of my body back down to the Schumann resonance where it belongs. It isn't up to us to decide what music the universe listens to. I'm tired of their stereo playing heart music all the time. I'm tired of watching my animals wash up on shores. I'm tired of not seeing a beautiful blue marble here. There's not a fucking place I could zoom in on this planet, I don't think, where there might be no clouds. None. Where? Where is the air going to be clear? When will this nightmare on every street end? Where is our clean air? They bombed the whole fucking world. There is a war against Gaia herself, and all her life forms are in danger of death and going away. And when the last human being watches the last animal fall, will they even shed a tear or remember what was here? Well, I lobby, let's have the tree museums now. Or let's make sure we never need tree museums. It's time to tear up the parking lots and plant the trees in those plots. Big love.